We have on this show today Harry van Hest from Belgium. He is one of the most celebrated and popular public speakers in Belgium. Early in his career, he regaled audiences on every TV channel of Belgium. He had his own morning radio show on the most popular channel in Belgium. He has been a presenter on company events and keynote speaker on international stages in varied cities like Vienna, Cairo, Prague, Stockholm, Paris, Barcelona, Malta, Windhoek, and many, many more. Commendable for a shy student that had to stop studying after high school. He loves sharing his experiences, giving coaching sessions in public speaking, stress management, storytelling, building up PowerPoint presentations, media training, etc. He speaks in Dutch, English, and French. Let's know more from the man himself, our celebrity guest today afternoon, Harry van Hest, all the way from Belgium. Welcome to the show, Harry.
Thank you very much. I'm very glad to be in India for my first time. It's a virtual way, but I enjoy it. Thank you very much. So
yeah, this might be virtual, but then very soon, we hope we'll see you in India in person.
Yeah, when all the pandemic problems are over, well, I'm looking forward. I would like to. Yeah. And yeah, how shall I start?
Yeah, let me start now. Let's begin by knowing let's start by knowing a bit about your childhood and adulthood dreams. Indian parents normally aspire their children to become doctors or engineers. How is it in Belgium? What did you want to become?
In Belgium, they want to be a pilot or a firefighter or, you know, something spectacular when they are a child. My grandfather and the older brother of my father, they were all in insurance and banking things. And the dream of my parents was that I should go in banking too. But I wanted to be an artist, circus, being a clown or something like that, or something with animals, because I love animals. And well, the circuses and the animals with tigers and lions, that's diminished. So they said, well, look for something else in the show business. But I was a very shy boy, a very shy student, because I wasn't that clever. I wasn't that strong. I wasn't that fast, you know, all the skills that the colleagues expected. So, but I had three clear goals. At the age of, and I'll try to show you a picture. I don't know that it works for you. Do you see this? This is I, when I was, let's say, 10, 11 years. And I decided for myself, I would like to live in the historical center of Antwerp under the cathedral. We have a beautiful cathedral. I can show you an image. And I hope that the light is okay. And here you see the river Scheldt. And here you see the cathedral. And here, that's the place where I live.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, I said continue.
Yeah. If the tower falls, well, then the rooster, because you know on a cathedral there is always a rooster to show which side the wind comes. Well, then I think that the rooster would lie on our roof garden, because we have a little roof garden, 25 square meters. So that was my first dream that came true, and to live in the old historical center. My second, when I was that little, the second dream that I had, to marry a blonde girl. And I found one. Yes, I found my blonde girl, and we are happy now for 25 years together. So I'm very delighted that 25 years, 25 times this Bloom session. And then the third thing was, I didn't want to work 9 to 5 as my grandfather and my older uncle. So I said, I don't want to work from 9 to 5. And it's difficult to show you, but when I was with the Boy Scouts, we were hitchhiking through England, the southern part of England. And between Canterbury and London, we got a hitchhike from a Rolls-Royce. One of the first cars that picked us up was a Rolls-Royce with a very nice gentleman with a black hat on his head. And he was an artist. He was a sculptor. And he was telling all his stories, and he was showing us around in London to show the statues that he created. And he told us that he created also the rooster on the beer mats for Courage beer. And so from that moment on, when I'm in England, I'm drinking, of course, the Courage beer. But more important, a certain moment, he asked us, my friend and me, with the Boy Scout uniform, what time is it? And I was surprised that that man hadn't a wristwatch. And he said, I don't use a watch. I like to be free. And from that moment on, I took off my wristwatch and I put it in my pocket. And I said, from now on, I never wear a wristwatch again. So the 9 to 5, never again. That's the start of my story.
Quite an engaging story. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, it's the truth. I have to say, well, and the next thing that I want to share with you, that is how I started my career.
Please do that, because we know you were a very shy boy and now you have become a moderator, presenter, motivational speaker. We would love to know, where did that shy boy disappear to become the present day Harry? Yeah, and that's another story. I hope that I don't take too much time from the other speakers, but a certain moment, I was that shy boy, not strong, not so clever, and so on and so on. And at that time, I'm talking about the late 70s, beginning 80s, all the people, we didn't have television at home because my parents, they had a bookstore. And it's a little bit a story from the film, Did You Got Mail? With Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan. Maybe you know, little bookstore and then the huge bookstores that took over all the little ones. My parents struggled with the same problem. So I knew when I was in the last years of my high school that I couldn't study another grade or something. I had to stop studying at my 18. And when we were at the last year of my high school, we went to a huge hall, cinema, to look at very educational films with all the classmates. We had to go to that room, a Catholic room, to see Electra, Antigone, and all those Greek traditionals. And we were, and that's my story of the 975 marriageable girls, we were the only school class of 24 students as boys. The rest of the room, and there were 999 places in that room, were all girls. So what we did, being those boys, we took the seat completely on the upper side of the room, because then we could see all those girls down and enjoy, 17, 18 years, filled with testosterone. But in the beginning of the film, sorry for that, that's my enthusiasm.
in the beginning of the film, there was a moderator who said, at the end of the film, so watch carefully, I'm going to invite one girl and one boy on stage. So at the end of the film, the moderator said again, where is the girl and where is the boy? And all the girls, well, they had a choice. There were lots of girls. So one of the girls stepped on the stage, and there was I sitting very shy, but all the other, you know, the players, the playboys, who had a big mouth, suddenly, because they had to come down from all up here to the stage, they were too afraid. And I thought, this is my chance. This is my chance to make a statement. And I went down with my blue blazer, shiny elbows, you know, we hadn't the means to, and I walked up stage and I got a microphone. And the moderator asked me one question, after one or two or three, but one question, and I was able to give a funny, witty answer. And the whole room, all those girls that were sitting there, and they were cheering, and they were clapping, and they were laughing. And then from that moment on, I knew what I had to do. Look for a microphone and try to amuse the people. And the moment I came off the stage and I went up to my row, and those my friends, they were eating their heart out, of course. And I was a popular guy. Suddenly, the shy boy became, and that was for me the lesson that you have to look for opportunities. And that's what I did. I looked for opportunities when there was a fancy fair, and they needed a presenter. I'll do that. And from that moment on, I understood, take your chances. Don't be afraid. And of course, the courage that and I had to stop studying. But from that moment on, I knew, where's the mic? Where's the mic? And that's how my career started. And by searching and looking for opportunities, I became a presenter, a moderator, and so on. That's in short my story.
Thank you. Thanks for that. An engaging story. And we envy you having a choice of 900 plus girls.
Yeah, that was a nice extra. But I was too shy to do something with that. Because
we won't ask you what you did with them. That's a story for another time.
Yeah. I hope so, because I'm taking your time.
Yeah. Actually, you inject a lot of humor in your talks. We have a lot of public speakers on this call. Any tips on how to inject humor in your talks?
Yes, I've even a lecture about that for my fellow speakers, and I made I have a few of them. First of all, if possible, come on stage with music. A jingle, it hasn't to be, no, but you can embed it in your PowerPoint or your Prezi, a short jingle. But don't forget to warn the master of ceremonies that you have a little or short piece of music, because otherwise he will say, ladies and gentlemen, and here is Barack Obama. And it doesn't happen something, because first the music has to come. So use music. Second, provide the text with which you are announced in advance, so and make it your text, so you can already put some humor, a one-liner, a quote in it. So you have a foundation to start and make it a funny one. That's something that's particular and that can enjoy that people will enjoy. Check the program carefully, because when there was another speaker just before you, and he had a sad message or a very complicated message, or layoffs, for instance, from colleagues, don't come up and say, hey, hello, here I am. I'm coming to entertain you. I had once that situation. It was a shoe factory that has to lay off people. And they said, ladies and gentlemen, you'll have to lay off 25 people. But here is our entertainer. He will start a music program. I can assure you that it was difficult to lift the people, of course. So use a mic. Use a mic, even if you think, oh, I don't need a mic. Yes, but when you want to be funny, it's nice to imitate voices, to make it a little bit, you can whisper or something, and that you can't do with a headset, for instance. So it's much better to do it with a handheld, so you can take distance and things like that. Then the fifth one, if possible, you can start your lecture or your presentation with, in the 5 first minutes, something funny. And I really, not telling a joke. I'm not a joke teller, but I'm a one-liner man. Or coming up and maybe you felt it before. I'm just using what's available. To someone who comes too late in the room or something, you say, oh, let's give him a round of applause or something. So the people know immediately from the beginning that it isn't a too serious lecture that they have to follow. Number 6, make fun of yourself. I try, at least, not to be too serious. Because I'm not so serious. I've no grades. I've no special things that I've done. I've worked in a bookshop. I've sold household products in the beginning, just to survive and to help my parents. So I'm not special, but I try to be honest. And I make fun of my period that I was doing all those strange things. Number 7, and that's the first, we have 8. Use images and videos. As I did, showing you pictures of, that makes it vivid. And it's more difficult when you are on screen, but you can make a drawing in advance, and then you can show the people. You can create a smile, and that helps. And then do experiments, and with someone, with the public. Maybe we can do an experiment with you all who are on screen now. May I, because Premja, you told me that we have a lot of speakers amongst your audience.
Yes.
What I would suggest is that you all cover your webcam for a moment. I would like to hear you, but not to see you. So cover all your, and I'm here, so cover your, so now all the people who are speakers, uncover your webcam, please. So all the people who are speakers. Okay, a lot of them. And now all the people with a serious job, uncover your webcam, please.
Serious job.
Yeah, serious job. Now, of course. Okay, so you can make, by doing such things as that, you can make it more vivid. People can, another thing is, and that's for me a little bit, would you mind to do like this, all in front? And then I gave you 8 tips that you can use to be a good speaker. Now I'm on level 0. This is level 10. So show me how useful you think that the tips are for your speaking career. Okay, I won.
Then Harry.
Wasn't good. No, but that's what I mean. You can build in some funny things so that people have a good feeling, and they can participate. They can see, hey, he did. Oh yeah, is that? And that was because the distance is enormous. I'm so far from you, and even during this 15, 20 minutes, we are so close. Yes. And that's nice.
Thank you, Harry. Wonderful tips, which I'm sure will help all the speakers who are on this show to take our speaking level to another higher level. Thank you very much for sharing this. COVID-19 has turned the world on its head. The speaking industry has also not been spared. How did you manage, or did you do anything differently to come out of this pandemic?
Well, for me, in Belgium, we have even nowadays, we have a complete lockdown. Shops are open, but no cafes, no restaurants. We have an evening clock at 12 o'clock at night. We have to be back in the house. So it's very severe, but we are doing well. So, and thanks to the vaccines, everything goes well. But it's a year now that we hadn't, we couldn't work as we did before, especially the events and people like speakers who are depend on events. So what I did, luckily I had a few clients who organized a meeting, and during that meeting, I was at the office of the client, and they made a video with a real camera, and they registered everything and sent it to the people, so that I hadn't to take care of the technical things. Because, to be honest, all the technical issues, that makes me always a little bit afraid. Even when I'm live on stage, when I click and the film doesn't come, then I get a little bit nervous because I'm not a handy Harry with IT. And then, so I did a few presentations, few gigs in company. And for the rest, I created a new website. We were making a new book during this time. And I rebuilt all my presentations in the after Corona mood.
Okay. So where do you see the speaking industry, say, in 2 or 3 years' time? Any changes?
What I think, after Corona, we are so longing to be amongst each other again. So I think that there will be a race of events so that we can feel each other, to look in the eyes, and to get in contact. That's what we gonna have and what we're gonna do. So I'm very positive what concerns the events, and of course the speaking business too. People will laugh, and there is a huge difference between laughing on your own in your office or together with other people.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. And that works when people next to you, you have, even if you have a problem, there is an issue in your family, and you are a little bit, but people, they are all laughing, so you start laughing too. And that's what we miss. Being with a pint of beer or a glass of lemonade and be together. So and of course, meetings, viral meetings will continue. That's the future. And hybrid events, a room full of people and other people from countries very far away, they will be viral, of course.
Yes.
Thank you. Love that positivity that you exude, and let's hope happy days are here again very soon.
Yes.
Yeah, of course. That's why I have my motivational, I called it an energizer. And I'll finish my story because I can continue as I promised MJ. That's the three things that I state in my presentation, my motivational, my signature keynote. That's don't be afraid of change. Change is always an improvement. In the beginning, it's a little bit, but I changed so much in my life that I'm sure that change will help you. And then there is also focus. Focus on your dreams. My dream was becoming an artist. And I think that I'm a little bit an artist. I'm not a clown.
Yes.
I became
Yes.
a clown when I wanted to be. But my wife, Nicole, she often says, hey, you are a clown. And then I'm happy because that was my childhood dream. And then the third and the most important one is team. We are all together. And now I'm together with you and we are teaming up. And people have to team up to be stronger all together. And that's so nice. And that's my triangle, the three elements. And that's what I explain in my signature keynote. And the signature keynote, and that's my end, when the people are at the end of my lecture, not standing next or even up their chair, the organizer hasn't to pay me. So that's a fair deal. Maybe that's the reason to come to India. That's yeah. And I mean it. I can show you the photos. You see the photo on my LinkedIn profile. Very enthusiastic people cheering in Malta. It was for an international congress, and I hope that I once can be in India to show it.
Yeah, we look forward to that. And we know I've seen your LinkedIn profile. You are a mesmerizing speaker.
Thank you.
And now I hand over to Deepak. My colleague Deepak will have some questions for you. Deepak, please take over.
Thank you, Premraj. You know, Harry has made us laugh in this last 15-20 minutes so much. I have really been enjoying all the questions and answers and the way he's going about it. So thank you, Harry. Thank you for joining us on this 25th episode. It's really a pleasure and an honor to be with you here. So there are a few questions which I would like your answers to, and in your own inimitable style with humor, you can take them ahead. So you said your parents and grandparents were from the insurance and the banking industry. And myself and Premraj are also from the insurance and banking and financial services side. And you mentioned that you did not want to do a 9-to-5 job. You know, this job somehow makes you work 24/7. You are always available for your clients, you know, when you are in banking and insurance. That's the way it is.
Yeah, I understand. But at that time, it was all, you see that sometimes in old films, people 5 to 5, they are preparing their things, and 5 o'clock, and they leave all the office. Nowadays, it's completely different, of course. That's, I understand. And I respect it because my family became, in fact, we came from Holland. We are Belgian now, but we came from Holland. So they were refugees at the time. It wasn't like that. It was after the war and things like that. But, you know, and they built up a career and a future for us, the nephews and my brother. So we needed the 9-to-5 jobs from my grandparents.
So you shared that story of you know, being up on stage and grabbing the opportunity. Now you meet people and then they will tell you opportunity knocks once. If you don't grab that opportunity, you've lost it. Then there are some people who say opportunity always knocks twice. What camp are you on? What side are you on? Does opportunity knock twice, or you should always grab that first opportunity which comes to you?
Well, that's a very intelligent question. Thank you for that. Because my first impression was, you have only one chance. But, and maybe at that time, I should have thought the same thing. But now, after a while that I'm on Earth, I think that there are so many chances who come to you. Because I played in movies. I played theater with very famous people in the show business in Belgium. And it was all pure luck, being on the right spot at the right time.
Yes.
And that stage with all the girls, that was very necessary for me, because
Yes.
I was lost. I had to stop studying. All the other boys in my class, they could study at the university, and I had to start in a shop in a blue, that. So at that moment, that was very good for my self-esteem.
Yeah.
But they come and go. Just grab it the moment it is there. And if you missed it, okay, you missed it. And then there comes another. So the second option.
Yes. There will always be another chance. Never say die. Yeah. You said you are not a clown, but you try to be funny. You try to inject humor. You talk about humor. You also gave us a few tips on how you could add humor as a speaker. What is your view to what I'm going to ask you just now? It is always said that people who are funny up on stage, in movies, really have very, very sad lives underneath, you know? They used to say Charlie Chaplin is very funny, but he's had a very difficult life. All the biggest comedians somehow have had difficult lives. Even then, despite all their odds, their problems, they continue to inspire people, make them laugh, have humor. How does it work for you? Does it really work that way? Is people who are making others smile, laugh, happy, are really happy internally, or it is actually their sadness wanting to make other people happy coming out in what they do?
That's another one. Yeah. But I think, well, as I said before, Nicole often says, hey, don't be a clown. It's my attitude. Because for me, it was a way of defense. I hadn't a grade, I hadn't rich parents and things like that. So I had to find another way to, so that's how I did it. But I can follow you, what you say, it's because one of the famous artists, which one I could play in the theater, he was like that, like you described. He was always very serious, but about his job, about what he had to do on stage. But when he was on stage, it was more Gillo. It's a graphic designer. And I tried to find the image as a beautiful picture of that. You made a drawing, a caricature, and it was a stage and a limelight and a man who comes up very sad. And then he is in the limelight and he's, oh, very funny. And then he walks and he's out the limelight and it's for many artists, well, a few artists that I know, that's right, what you say. But mostly it's, don't try to be funny even if it isn't your nature.
Yes.
I gave you some tips, and the tips that I gave, I can send them to Premraj to share with it, because don't force it. It are not the tips that I gave were not the tips to be. No, that doesn't work.
Yes.
Be your personality, but normally people who are entertaining their friends in restaurant or the cafe are also funny people. If they are not afraid from the stage, you have to combine being funny and being on stage. That are two completely different things, because a lot of people who are very funny amongst their friends, the moment they are on stage, they are trembling and they are bubbling and they are lost.
Yeah, yeah, I completely understand what you're saying. And this question which I'm asking you follows, give us the secret of you having spent 25 years with Nicole.
Well, um, I didn't see that coming. But yeah, I can say love each other, but that's too simple. It's well, to be honest, I met her. I tell you, even my friends, a lot of my friends don't know how we met because I didn't drag with it. But I was as presenter. I had the opportunity to present a lot of Miss elections. The pageants, Miss Belgium, Miss Flanders, Miss Antwerp, and I created, I didn't create, I presented a lot of girls and boys, because we have also the other pageant that became later famous on television. And so it was a great help for me, for that self-esteem. So Nicole, at the time that I met her, was Miss Belgium. And she wasn't on stage. She sat in the jury of another election. And I was presenting that election, and she thought, oh, what a, the presenter, the MC there, he's thinking he's funny and things like that. And she thought that I had, we call it a big neck. Yes, pretentious. Yeah, because in the beginning of a presentation, you come up and you say, ladies and gentlemen, we are on the election of Miss. So she said, oh, but she told me that she thought that. And that made the click. I said, oh, no, I'm not like that. I try to be serious enough for the organization. And so we started talking, and we felt we were on the same level. And that's what I mean. She was in show business, kind of, because she was still studying at the university, and I was in show business. And so we started talking, and she started working as a hostess for me when we organized the show. And we felt that we had the same interest. And even nowadays, she is a coach. She is helping people in one-to-ones. I'm not the right man for one-to-ones. I'm always cheer up, guy. It all will, and there is another chance. But people who lost their wives, they are not waiting for. So, and that's her department. But we are all amongst people. We like to be with people, and that helps when you have the same interests. It's not about a beautiful girl. She is a beautiful. For me, she is the most beautiful girl in the world. But you know what I mean. That's she is herself, and I'm myself, and I keep her. She is not here in the room at the moment. This is normally her office, because my office is too old books and things like that. So I said, may I have it's Sunday morning, you have no coachings. So be on the same level and try to grow to each other.
Yeah. Thank you, Harry, for sharing your real life story. And since this is our Silver Jubilee episode and we have another guest speaker, I can assure you that very soon we will have you speaking to us again on a full program where we will talk with you a little bit more, have a little bit more of chit chat, and ask you question and answers, so that finally, whenever the moment comes, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months later, we would be waiting for you to visit us personally in India.
Okay, and I'll invite Nicole too, so we can.
Oh, most definitely, yes. We would definitely love to meet Miss Belgium.
So
over to you, Premraj.
Deepak,
Yes.
just one question. Can I ask him?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
So I had put it in the chat. So whenever the name Harry comes up in India, especially for people of my generation, the
Yes.
first thing comes is the movie Dirty Harry, the legendary.
Yes.
So whenever
Yes.
we have Harry, it's Dirty Harry. So have you ever been called Dirty Harry, and have you liked it and taken it as a compliment?
Yeah.
Very often, very often. In the beginning, even the older generation called me Harry Belafonte.
Oh,
It was a famous singer
yeah,
in
I know.
America.
Yeah.
And I'm from the 70s, so my parents, they had the war, the World War II and things like that. It was first Harry Belafonte. Then it became Dirty Harry. But that was okay with me because it was in my macho period, you know.
Yes.
The period that was 18, between 18 and 25, that the film was popular. So I was playing Dirty Harry. Made my day punk. That's
Yeah. And what was your reply? What was your reply, Harry? Go ahead, make my day.
Well, I had to ask that, and the other they had to reply. So I wasn't thinking about that. And even nowadays, it's Harry Potter, of course.
Ah, yeah.
So I have to look for glasses to be a little bit Harry Potter.
Yes. Yeah. Thank
Okay,
you,
thank you,
Harry. Thank you.
Thank you for the funny question.